Guys, this is my first time doing this, so we'll see how it goes. I've never had two guests on the show at the same time before. So again, we'll see how it goes. Eric Simon is the founder and CEO of The Broke Agent LLC, a comedic media brand focused on the entertainment of real estate professionals. You probably know him simply as The Broke Agent on Instagram and other social media platforms. We also have with us Matt Leonetti, who is a real estate agent and content creator from Toronto. Shout out Canada. Matt has built his business on social media by utilizing humor into his marketing as well. He believes showcasing his personality is the best way to connect with his potential clients. Matt's approach is unconventional, to say the least. Together, they host the Over Ask podcast, described as real estate agents with mild social media fame who pick the brains of industry giants. Guys, it's a pleasure. Welcome to the Run GpG podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for having it. I never know how to start it off, you know? But
I think we could change mild social media fame to just social media fame now, right?
You think?
No.
No. Yeah. Well, you're at over 300,000 followers. Congratulations, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're over 300K now.
Yeah.
Yes. I didn't do a self-congratulatory post.
No, we don't believe in
that.
Getting balloons and every 1,000.
We don't celebrate milestones like that.
Well, also, Eric, I don't know if you know this, but you're now officially two-time guest alumni.
Damn.
And you share that with Ryan Serhant and James Harris. You're in good company.
That's great company. Thank you. I appreciate the invite back.
Yeah. And I know you guys are naturally competitive. So what does it mean to have that distinction over Matt?
I mean, it's great. It's great to, be the catalyst that brought Matt in here. It's great that Matt is a part of my podcast and now he's a part of the show too. So, me helping him along the way with his career is probably one of my greatest honors.
I wasn't aware of that statistic. I'm pretty upset now.
Yeah.
Very few on that list. Ryan Serhant, James Harris, Eric Simon. So well done. Welcome here.
Surprised you're not wearing their merch instead of our merch.
I know. Well, I had to do, I just got this one in the mail actually. So thought I'd give it a shot.
Well, that actually brings up a good question. How did you guys connect and how would you describe your partnership? Is it a partnership?
More of a boss employee type relationship, I'd say, but no, it's a partnership.
Yeah. We connected. I just started sending him stuff like I think a lot of people do. I did your agent spotlight and I think that's where we kind of hit it off.
Yeah. I had I wouldn't call it a program, but I had people submit content. And then once a week on Wednesdays, I would promote agents that were posting funny marketing videos. Matt had a bunch of funny skits. So he signed up for one of the agent spotlights, and the engagement that those got on my story and then also my feed were incredible. So people loved him. And then they also saw on his profile that his content was aligned with mine because he was posting hilarious stuff as well. So we just kind of kept in contact after that and decided to start the podcast.
Cool. I think, both of you guys are a good example of how you can grow a brand with humor. And Eric, in my opinion, I always kind of credit you with starting that movement, that humor and real estate kind of niche there. But have you thought about the role you've played in inspiring agents that aren't funny to create cringy content? Have you thought about that?
To create cringe content? I mean,
listen, that's so true. I talk about this all the time, and I'll let you get to your.
Oh yeah, this question was directed at you.
I'll let you get to your shtick in a second, Eric, where you say you're the greatest, and you completely, founded me like you're Universal Music. Okay, I always say this that
Jimmy Iovine of real estate.
Yeah, it's about because people think now you kind of there's a lot more people doing funny content and quotes funny. They're trying to kind of find their lane. And I think what both of us have been kind of saying from the start is you don't have to be funny. You have to do whatever works for you. So there is a lot of people trying to be funny and it just turns out to be cringy because I believe that a humor skit, if you're not 100% dedicated to that skit, it's going to come across as uncomfortable for you and the viewer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'd agree with that. And I always, what's worse, being cringy or not creating content at all? And it's a good question, you guys do a good job of shouting out the good content. I've heard you guys do that, and you reshare, really good submissions. But what is worse, cringy content or not posting at all?
I don't know, probably not posting at all. Cringy content, at least if you're a realtor, you're getting your name out there. And there's so many people that like cringy content, especially in the real estate space. If you look on real estate Facebook pages, most of the content there and most of the listing videos are kind of cringe, but people get a kick out of that. Even if it's just like under the guise of humor, if it's clearly a joke that isn't funny, but people know it's a joke, they still share it because it's something different than the traditional like stale listing video. So I think anyone that's still trying to be funny, even if they're not funny, the attempt is appreciated. And I think not appreciated towards me. I just mean like, I think the audience appreciates it. And, you know, anything that's out of the norm, I guess, for real estate is probably a net positive.
I cut you off. How do you feel about being the founder of funny real estate stuff?
I don't know if I am, but I mean, it's been great to see over the last 5 years, kind of the switch in marketing from the sales guru, entrepreneur, hustle life, Gary Vee style content. I think calling that out at the very beginning and noticing that that was the least relatable thing to see on social media, I think seeing that evolve has been awesome. And I've noticed it just because, you know, Matt has sent it to me, and, you know, this guy, Derek Gregory's an agent in Florida who posts funny content. There's so many agents out there now that are realizing that humor and marketing is the best way to go viral, the best way to get engagement, the best way to get shares. So I'm happy with it. It's great. And it's great for me because I get more content. So, you know, my goal is to lift up other agents also and help grow their following because it gets content from my page, and then it increases their business as well. So I love it.
Yeah, 100%. You do that too. So shout out to you guys for that. And I've said this before.
Shout out us.
Yeah, shout out you guys. I've said this before. I think one of the reasons why you guys resonate so much with, you know, the boots on the ground agents is that you're able to articulate exactly what the everyday agent is thinking and feeling as they experience, you know, their day-to-day wins and losses as an agent, right? So in a lot of your posts, you're saying exactly what, you know, they wish they could say to some of their clients and colleagues. Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
confirmed.
That's kind of what totally confirm. That's
Showing confirmed.
kind of what I try and do with a lot of my stuff, because I think like funny because it's true humor is some of the funniest kinds of humor. So I like to do that a lot. And like, there's so much that we go through that is just like, it's almost unbelievable. Some of the stuff real estate agents do. And it's on such a broad scale. It's crazy to think how relatable the industry is all over the world. Like there's things that just don't change all over the world. And I think that's why it kind of resonates so well, because there's a lot of things. I mean, totally when we're doing content, like I message Eric a lot because he's in the States, and I'll be like, hey, do you know this reference? Like, do you get, because I want to make it, you know, relatable to everybody. So I'll always message him and be like, hey man, do you know the Teletubbies? And he'll be like, of course I know the Teletubbies.
Yeah, of course. I have Dipsy, Lala, Poe, and Tinky Winky just lined up right behind me.
I always have like references, and then like there's sometimes where he's like, no, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And then I know, okay, that's going to go over people's head, but it's cool to see how similar it is all over the world.
Yeah, sales is sales, right? Dealing with people and personality types and all that type of stuff. Communication, it's universal. So let's move to talking about, you know, growing a brand and your content specifically. Like, how did you grow your individual brands? Like, what tactics did you use to grow and scale in the beginning specifically?
Eric, this is your bread and butter right here. He's waits for this.
I was giving you the opportunity to go first, but
no, you take it.
I'll lead it off. Well, Instagram back in 2015 was way different than it is now. So a lot of my like growth tactics were following, unfollowing, liking a bunch of photos, going through the popular like realtor hashtags, and basically doing anything I could to get my name out there. So I would go on real estate Facebook groups and post all my memes. So basically any way I could get my name across the broke agent, I would do. I would go on every single podcast, networking events, anything possible. And that it was really effective because the broke agent was a powerful name. So I think having a name definitely helps. Like, you know, you don't want to just have like a generic name like Stanley, San Diego Realtor or something, but having a name that sticks out is really good for branding, and then having universal branding across all platforms. So I was lucky enough to get it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and have like universal logo and just be posting everywhere basically. So yeah, the beginning tactics were way different than they are now. Now I'm commenting on a bunch of Instagram posts. I'm using hashtags. I'm posting 3 or 4 times a day. I'm posting 8 to 10 Instagram stories. I don't really know where to start with the tactics. I don't want to go on like a 20-minute monologue with it, but I think at the beginning, it was just getting the name out there and posting way edgier humor than almost I am now, because I just wanted to get noticed at first. And I think that was really important for starting the brand. Is you got to have pieces of content that go viral, or pieces of content that catch people's attention and that's different from what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Matt, you grew a following pretty quick, I believe, on social media.
Yeah, pretty quick. Eric always says it's
no thanks to me.
Yeah. He always said, no thanks. No.
Right.
Of course, he definitely helped with that process of growing the following. And I have people who kind of call me out. Just, I don't know if you know Brendan Schaub. He's like Joe Rogan's best friend. He kind of got his start because of Joe Rogan. So Eric's Joe Rogan.
Thanks.
Is what I'm saying. No. So, but I always just say, he definitely got my content spread to a lot more people, and I got way more eyes on it, but the content still has to be good and what people want to see to get the follow and stuff like that. So it's been good teamwork. It grew pretty fast. I started doing the videos about 1.5 years ago.
Matt's been really good. Like, it, of course, is not just me. Like, his content is hilarious, and he's been really good at adapting to how these social media platforms evolve. So he was just doing kind of, I don't know if it was horizontal video, but it was kind of lower quality, like skits and music videos. And now, because reels are the most popular thing, he's doing reels, and those are absolutely crushing. Mm-hmm. And he's following the trends of what's going on in social media. So when you're building a brand, you have to go where the puck is moving also, right? So for me, starting Instagram in 2014 or 15 with the Broke Agent, that was kind of like the newer platform, like the TikTok of today. But you got to do that. You have to learn it. And I know a lot of realtors are reluctant to adopt these new platforms, because it's a lot to take on to be like, I don't want to learn TikTok and vertical video. I don't want to learn Snapchat when that came out. I don't want to do podcasting. But in order to get your name out there and expand your brand, you really have to. Yeah. So Matt's been done a good job with that. His content speaks for itself. If I didn't exist, he'd be crushing.
Yeah. Thanks.
Not.
Appreciate it. Yeah, not.
Psych.
Also, I think it's important to note a lot of people are just caught up with followers, which I am too, but it's way more important to have engagement with whatever amount of following you have. Like even Eric, he's got over 300,000 followers, but his engagement is insane. Like there's some pages who have millions of followers, and it's not necessarily a fake following. They're just not engaged with their content at all. They followed way back when, like when Eric started his page, it was way easier to get a follow, I guess, with hashtags and stuff. But to be able to maintain that audience and actually have them engage still, like most people, I feel like when they grew their pages way back when, I always say I feel like they just forgot that they followed the page. And they don't even know they're following it anymore. So I think that's what Eric did such a good job of, is he has that unreal engagement. Some days worse than others, but
Yeah, of course. And those are the worst
algorithm.
Days of the year. Yeah, the algorithm. It's the algorithm's fault. But also, to go back on your original question, David, about branding, the consistency of posting for me has been something I'm actually proud of. And I rarely say that about myself. But I mean, for 6 years, I've been posting every single day. Sometimes I'll take off a Sunday because I'm too hungover to think of something to post. But other than that, it's like 2 or 3 times a day on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram stories. Like it's got to keep going. So, from a branding perspective, even if you're not getting that engagement or that reach in the first couple of weeks, I mean, it's a long process. Like this is taking a long time.
How do you gauge or how do you measure engagement, right? So typically it is, comments. And I've heard you guys talk about that, you guys are good at engaging with your audience in comments, but are all comments good for the brand? Like, for example, like, do you guys get hateful comments, and how do you deal with those? Like a comedian with hecklers, like how do you deal with negativity?
Depends. Sometimes I call them out, which is probably the worst thing you can do, is because that's what they want. But I feel like if they set me up properly, I'll light them up to the point where they'll delete their entire thread of comments. And that's what I love. If I can just, you don't want to go toe to toe with me. I'll light you up.
Or you'll just delete your post.
Or I'll delete the whole post. So It depends what the comment, like if the comment is like crude or offensive, I just delete it. But like, it's not ever going to stop me from posting. And I don't think it should for anyone, because I don't know any extremely successful person who's commenting negatively on someone's Instagram page.
No comments are worse than comments almost. Not getting engagement is almost worse than at least people saying something rude, because then you can clap back. And that's another way that people could like your brand, is by you actually like saying something funny back. But yeah, sometimes you don't want to draw attention to it, but I don't know, negative comments happen.
Bad publicity is better than no publicity.
That's right.
I feel like there's like a couple different philosophies. Some ignore it, some love it, and, engage with the haters and keep going, conversation going. But I find it funny what people get offended at these days, and how they take so much time to like go there and fill out a comment about, I don't know, your mustache. You're like, it's shocking to me. And did you have any content recently that's gone viral or controversial? What's been successful from that standpoint recently? I know, Matt, your Drake reel was pretty good.
Yeah.
That got a lot of shares and attention, right?
Yeah. For me, it was the Drake, and neither were controversial, but I would say Drake and the Eminem Stan reel kind of blew up, and that was just all nice stuff. People really got behind me on those ones. That's another thing. Like, I think we don't get as much hate as I think some people would think we get. Most people who follow us and support us are really nice people, it seems. Here and there. But
sometimes the only hate is like, I will be mean to people in the comments, and like I put on kind of an image of not necessarily being but just like being kind of like a cynical, sarcastic person.
Aloof?
So I think a lot of people, no, I wouldn't say aloof at all, actually.
Let's go with aloof. Yeah.
Yeah, aloof. Sure. So I think some people try to replicate that voice in the comments to me, or will say like funny stuff to me in the DMs. But also when I promote, whether it's like a template platform or the podcast or merchandise, there's always going to be people that are saying like, oh, you sold out now, or, oh, why are you promoting stuff? Why are you trying to sell stuff to us? Even though it's stuff that's like completely on brand and, partnerships that will actually help real estate agents. But I think anytime you start to monetize, or you start to actually, give someone like an action to swipe up, then sometimes people get a little upset about that. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's a free app, guys.
Yeah.
You can unfollow. It's free.
We post so much free content, so much funny free content. Like every now and then you could just, buy a hat or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Grab shirts now.
Keep the lights on. Yeah.
I didn't want to focus on negativity necessarily. I was just curious about it because you guys have the love. You guys, people love your content. And then every once in a while you get that negative comment. People are always asking, how do you deal with that? But, there is these new platforms, right? Like ways of sharing live content. We've got Clubhouse, the IG Lives, Spotify Green Room. Like live content seems to be king right now. Like, what are your thoughts on that? I've heard Eric say that, like specifically that you do them, but you feel like you're too self-important when you do them. So what are your thoughts on the live content?
I think they're beneficial. Like whenever I would do it, I used to do every couple of weeks, IG Lives, and they were cool. What I would do is I would just like get on and be like, hey, who wants to chat type deal. So I wasn't just talking about myself the whole time. So I'd just get on and like, just bring up whoever wanted to talk, and we'd just talk for like 5-10 minutes. And people seemed to like it and engage. It got me followers and rose questions. A couple of leads came out of it. Like, I think it's good. I think it's really cool to pair the live with like a podcast.
But if I'm on Instagram Live, I do feel like I'm trying to be self-important. And I do feel like, why the hell would people want to know what I have to say? Or am I going to just start making real estate jokes or something? But
yeah.
It is important. It's a really important skill to learn. And we were doing it in Clubhouse. I like the audio version because it was less pressurized. There's other people in the room. It sucks because you can't see people's reaction, but I think that sort of like live podcast conversation style is great. But IG Lives, as far as growing your account and getting people to know you, is extremely beneficial. It pushes your content to the top of their page. If people interact with your IG lives, they're more likely to interact with your content. So overall, it's great. And people that could pull it off, more power to them. And I would like to start doing them. I think now that there's IG Live where you could have multiple people on, we are going to start doing stuff like that. And I think that just makes it more fun. So it's not just like you having a conversation with your followers.
Yeah, it's a good point. I started doing it more on the corporate feed. And to your point, is the lighting right? Is the camera angle good? What do I look like? You start thinking about that stuff. And then I realized people don't really look at that stuff. They're kind of just tuning in because it's different. And I feel like, especially with the, live video, you got to be engaging right away. Otherwise people just leave, but I started doing it on the corporate feed and it made a big difference. And I found out like the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. You don't really care what you look like.
I think self-awareness was the word I was looking for, not self-consciousness. But
all right, we can cut back in here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're back.
Self-awareness.
But I also think having some sort of activity that you're doing during a live, like for realtors, if you're showing an open house or a property or describing something and there's an actual point, extremely effective. And then it's also visual. But if it's some guy just sitting on his bed and, like someone who creates memes like me or something, and I'm just reading, comments, it's just like, why? I'm not like a hot girl. Like who wants to see me do that,
Well, you got a set of arms on you though.
Yeah, I got biceps, but got some pythons rocking through the shirt.
Yeah, the guns. I thought you guys were doing good with Clubhouse.
Yeah, we were.
Clubhouse?
We were. No, not really. As soon as like we saw less people, we were less interested. We had a couple really good rooms. The first couple of weeks, I'd say we started, and we were on it probably solid 2 or 3 weeks. We were on it like a lot, going hard. We did a room with Tom Ferry. We did some other cool rooms, and we put on some of our own rooms. Some were good, some were not. Built our followings a lot in that 2 to 3 week time period. And then, I don't know, we just kind of saw a drop off as things started opening up, and we just haven't been. I'll hop on every maybe couple of weeks just to see if there's any kind of rebirth. But I don't know. I there's still value there to be had, of course. But we found after a while it was a lot of the same people who just wanted to get up to talk, and they really had no business talking about, social media strategies, and they have 197 followers. It's like, whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, here's a question. What advice would you give an everyday agent that wants to create a specific following, a group, or a personal brand?
It's just going to sound so cliche, but having some sort of niche, if you're a real estate agent, you need to dig into your personality and whatever you're good at. So if you're good at video, or you're good at creating graphics, or you like baseball or something like that, like also connect yourself with people that have similar interests to you. So just being Joe Schmo agent that's posting the same type of content that everybody else is posting isn't going to do it. I mean, it's so oversaturated. We love saying that word, right, Matt?
Yeah.
We should actually have a shirt that just says oversaturated.
Oversaturated. That's a good
over ask and oversaturated.
Oversaturated. Yeah.
So yeah, just, showing your interests and showing what you like to talk about. I think that's what connects people, because the first move that people do now when they're looking for a realtor is, you look at their Zillow reviews, you look at their website, and then when you're Googling them, you also look at their Instagram, you look at their social media. And if you're between 2 or 3 agents and you go on their Instagram and you're like, oh, this guy's a Canucks fan, I'm a Canucks fan, I want to work with this person. It's a little hockey reference for
Canucks. Oh, thanks.
You've had 2 hockey references on this so far. 2.
Yeah, where the puck is going.
I noticed that, and I didn't mention it. And you just said the Canucks.
I adapt to situation. That's what I do.
He's a chameleon.
I'm a chameleon, exactly.
It's so true, though.
Jinx, you owe me a shirt.
Yeah, a showing confirmed shirt.
Yeah.
As soon as I niched down on my marketing, my business definitely got broader, because you just, like Eric was saying, you attract like-minded people, and you don't have to do all that. Like my first couple of years in real estate, I was running and chasing people who were never going to work with me in the first place. I think another thing to know for agents is you don't have to be so prim and proper. I watch so many agents like, hey, like my incredible clients, I love you guys. So it's like, off with that. And no, you're not actually like that. I know what you're actually like. I'm not saying you have to go swear and do all this, like do what's you, but like it's just like, I just watch some agents. I'm like, you're so lame. It's like, you don't have to be so lame about things. You can just be real. Every time you hop on their Instagram story, just hopping on here real quick, guys. What's up? Got a busy day. Going to do 15 showings and got 17 listing appointments.
17 listing appointments.
Yeah. Like
in one day.
It's all, yeah. And they always enhance what they're doing.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen their schedule? Why would you even post that? Be a little more real. I think people more than ever can see through your now.
Yeah. Agents become like actors and actresses of agents. They portray characters that they think they should be on social media. And I mean, that's how I felt at the beginning too, as a real estate agent. I never did it on social media because I was like, I'm not showing any of this. I don't even want people to know I'm sitting in open house. Don't come say hi. Don't come near me. I don't want to interact with anybody. So I think a lot of agents, though, when they get into business, they see other agents on social media that are successful, that do actually have those sales. And they're like, well, I got to emulate this somehow. So I'm just going to become, that person in a shell of myself, basically. And then eventually they just kind of wiggle out of it. And they're like, all right, well, that didn't work because that attracted nobody.
Exactly. That's what happened to me. I always say this too. I got into real estate because I thought I had a good personality. And as soon as I got in, ironically, I lost all my personality because I was trying to be someone else who was successcll. And it didn't work for me. And people saw through it and I got nothing. Nothing happened. I couldn't understand why, I'm doing this exact same thing as this guy. He's making, millions. Why aren't I getting even 2 listings?
Yeah.
Because they could see through my.
Listen, authenticity matters and people will always call you on your bullshit, right? And I think, you're making a good point. Anything overly polished, people don't resonate with that, because people aren't overly polished in their everyday life anyway. Right. So
no, exactly.
No, all good advice. So I want to talk about your real estate business specifically. Like, I never asked this question to you, Eric. How did you get into real estate?
Eric? Go grab a coffee.
Yeah, can I go to the bathroom real quick? You guys don't mind, do you? I
don't want to get into too many details about your business, but I never really asked how you got into the business. And I'm going to follow it up with you, Matt, how you actually got into the business.
So I worked at the Laugh Factory Comedy Club right after college, and I was doing social media for them, and then quit after a year. And then basically I was just making Vines, which is that 6-second video app, kind of pre-TikTok. Had no niche or anything. I was just trying to make it on Vine. I had like 4 followers.
So was I.
Yeah. I wish I could go back to Vine days and do that consistently and then become like a Logan Paul YouTuber or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I really could have.
I miss Vine. I actually miss Vine. I liked it.
It was great. 6 seconds.
I wish
comedy.
I had some really good ones and I didn't know how to post it. I didn't know about hashtags and different you should. I
should do a Vine strategy ebook. A little dated. So then a girl I knew kind of from college was working at Hilton and Highland, which was a luxury brokerage, which is a luxury brokerage in Beverly Hills. And was just like, hey, I see you're not doing anything. Can you come be the receptionist for a couple of weeks? And I was like, sure. That's, I got to make money. And I became the receptionist, and I really liked the people in the office. I liked all the agents. I liked their personalities. I liked being in Beverly Hills. I was like, damn, all these people are driving Bentleys and Ferraris. This, seems like a good business to get into. And I hit it off with everybody. And then I got hired as an assistant to David Kramer, who's one of the top agents here in LA, and got my real estate license, became a buyer's agent. And, I never intended to get into real estate, but I think I just really liked the people, especially in my office. And kind of similar to Matt, I was like, well, I have a good personality. That seems like it's one of the prerequisites for this, at least like in this brokerage. And so that's how I got in.
Cool. And Matt, how did you get into real estate?
I was a touring musician before. And I was just kind of sick of always traveling, making no money. I think me, like a lot of people, I was watching $1 Million Listing. I was watching those real estate shows as they were like huge. They were just on like the real come up. We'd never seen anything like $1 Million Listing before. So I was watching that. I loved that show. And I just always thought, as I started kind of growing further away from music, I was like, well, maybe like I could do real estate. I didn't go to college or anything like that. So I didn't really know what I was going to do. And then I remember it like perfectly. I was in Florida and I was in a cab talking to my cab driver about real estate. And then in that moment going, taking the cab to Universal, I was like, I'm going to be a real estate agent. And then I knew as soon as I got back, I was going to look into doing my courses. And that was that. I met my friend's brother-in-law is a high luxury agent in Toronto. So I started with him. And yeah, never looked back.
And I know the answer to this from Eric's perspective, but for you, Matt, follow up to that is, has the specific play on humor led to more business?
Yeah, it has. I'm seeing it more this year than ever. It's taken a while. It's not like, I posted a video and then just got a ton of business in the next couple months from that video. It didn't really work like that, but I'm seeing a lot of it now. This has been my best year. Although the Freddie Mercury video last year, it was a pretty good return. I did a couple deals from it. And when you really break down, like that video cost me about $500. And I've probably made from that video alone, I tracked it back about 50 to 55,000. So it's a pretty good return on dressing up like an idiot and spending $500, So like when I started seeing stuff like that happen, I was like, okay, I need to like really double down on this because I hate door knocking and I hate cold calling and I pretty much hate everything about the business except, making people feel good when they get a house. I like that. And I like making people laugh. So I was like, if I can do just that mostly, then let's do that. And now it's been, I'm getting higher end clients. So my price range has gone way up. And I think people are really starting to see the value in the listing videos, especially because they're seeing the engagement and the views and what, how many eyes you can get than just a traditional run of the mill real estate video.
Yeah, I think it's all a part of branding, right? They get to know, like, and trust you regardless, right? So I think that's why it leads to more business. Okay, this question is for both of you, starting with Eric. What do people expect when they meet you? I've always wondered that. They see your content, they reach out to you, maybe they DM you, email you. They want a listing presentation. What do they expect when they meet you?
They definitely don't want a listing presentation when they meet me. They want to talk to a normal human. I think at conferences that I love going to conferences because they meet me and they're like, oh, I could hear it in your voice, your content, because I am exactly who I am in my captions and in my posts. And they could kind of see my thought process, not while they're talking to me, but I think they want to meet someone that is like them, that's a casual agent and that isn't that kind of unattainable real estate professional that speaks at conferences like a, Ryan Serhant or a Tom Ferry or, people that are like these incredible speakers and they're incredibly successful. And I look up to both of those guys. But when they meet me, they're like, oh, I relate to this guy. Like this guy was not crushing it in real estate. And he's basically just voicing the grievances of most real estate agents. And that's, what I give off. It's not like I'm, cracking Zillow jokes while I'm talking to them, but I get drinks with people and they're like, oh shit, I like that guy, Eric. Like that was fun. Or they think I'm an asshole. I don't know. I think most people like it, but I think they just expect, they expect me to be a normal, relatable person. And I think that's what I try to be.
Matt, what do people expect when they meet you? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I think similar to Eric. I'm a really kind of chill, boring kind of person. Like a lot, I love like my outlet is doing these videos and stuff. I think sometimes people might think maybe expecting more of like a off the charts Chris Farley type or always on, that kind of like through the roof type of personality, which that's definitely part of my personality. But like for the most part, I'm just very, I think normal. And I think mostly that's what people see like Eric. And then in terms of clients, I think clients now know exactly what they're going to get. They call me knowing how I am, and I'm not competing really with anyone anymore in terms of like listing appointments. Like when I get a listing appointment, it's because they want to work with me. So that's been a really cool thing to see with these videos. I
was wondering if you guys actually had met in person yet.
No, because we started doing the podcast like mid-pandemic. So,
well, actually, Which leads to, let's talk about the podcast, the Over Ask podcast. Tell us about it. What is it? Why did you start the show? Where'd the name come from? All that stuff.
I think we were so Eric had the Broke News Network with Ben Fisher. And then he started asking me to do like little cameo skits. And then we were just communicating a lot. And then that led to, we should do something, let's figure something out. And then we did like an interview one day. He thought he had COVID, so he couldn't go into the studio for Broke News Network. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So we did like a podcast style interview with me, him, and Ben, and it went well. And then we were talking. We're like, well, what if we did a podcast? And we got like, because Eric and I are super, I think, relatable. Like he was just saying in the last part, like relatable, normal, everyday people. And we love the contrast of like a super normal person talking to like luxurious Ryan Serhant.
If we keep telling people we're relatable, they'll think we're relatable. That's our goal.
Exactly. But we love that contrast of like, we're just like, we're not luxurious people. And that contrast of like us and the humor and mixing that with like these top producing luxury people. So it started so fast too. We were just like, I think end of November 2020, we were like, hey, let's do a podcast. And we're like, okay, let's do that. And then I was like, I wonder if we could get like Jordan Cohen and Ryan Serhant as the first two guests. And it actually happened. So then we were like, this is incredible. And then we needed a name. And I, of course, thought of the name.
Yep.
I thought of everything to do with the podcast. Eric wanted to call it No Contingencies.
What does Over Ask mean?
Well, it's a double connotation. So over ask, of course, means, you are over asking questions. You're being too inquisitive, but also over ask, from a real estate perspective, as you're writing an offer, that's over ask. And it's timely because we are in a seller's market. But also I thought that there's a comparison. The Part of My Take podcast for Barstool, it's just two average sports fans that know a lot about sports, but don't know that much, like a ESPN analyst or something like that. And they have all these huge athletes on. And I kind of like that's what we're doing. We're just like, okay, we're both normal agents and we're trying to have like huge top producers and sales gurus and, real estate coaches and stuff on and kind of ask them questions from a normal real estate agent's perspective. So I think that's what we're trying to do.
Are you a new real estate agent or thinking about getting a real estate license? If so, you're going to want to ask about the Greater Property Group's Agent Scholarship Program. Why pay for the cost of the course yourself when the Greater Property Group will subsidize the cost for you? Make sure you reach out and get all the details on the Greater Property Group's Agent Scholarship Program. You guys have a good chemistry. Do you feel like you played a part in blowing up, Ryan Serhant's brand because of your show?
Yeah, I told him 100%. That. I told him that right on the show, actually. I don't think he'd have his new brokerage, the location. I don't think he'd have that or Big Money YouTube Energy. Channel. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, we're going to have shirts that say Big Funny Energy. Remember that?
Yeah, Big Funny Energy.
Actually, that's smart. Yeah. Who would your dream guest be? Have you thought about that? You have a dream guest?
That's a good question.
We've been very fortunate with the guests we've had already. I mean, we've had, like I said, Jordan Cohen, Ryan Serhant, Maurizio Umansky, Maya Vander from Selling Sunset. Real estate, what? I mean, I would love to have Gary Vee, even though he's not like a real estate agent. I think he would just bring cool perspective to it. Or just someone like random who's like famous, like Kendall Jenner.
Yeah, she definitely come on.
Yeah, she come on.
Well, actually,
brand to 100 people.
You haven't connected with Drake yet since you're real, have you? I think everybody tagged him.
I've got over 500 tags. No Drake. Eric and I were talking about this. I think I need to scale it back. Maybe not do, a celebrity with 100 million followers. Maybe have easier chance of
800,000, 1.2 million. I think that's kind of the sweet spot. Once you call them out, then you can get them. We want to have Ari on from The Bachelor. There's a lot of Bachelor contestants and Bachelorette contestants and like the actual Bachelor and Bachelorette that now all have their real estate license.
Yeah.
And that's it's a fun story. We had Caitlin Clemens on, who's in Canada.
Yeah.
And it's cool to hear how they're not switching their branding, but using their large followings now for real estate. Yeah. So I think we want to get a bunch of those people on. Then other dream guests. I mean, I don't know. We're going to have Tom Ferry on.
Yeah. Tom Ferry's awesome. We're excited about Tom. Yeah. Tommy F.
But you're having Tom Ferry on.
Well, no.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know it yet.
We will.
Any surprises from podcasting? Any surprises that you weren't expecting? It's a lot of work, right? Podcasting.
Oh my God.
I was just going to say, it's a lot of work. We're still navigating that. I think we're getting a handle on it. And you need to be kind of 3-4 steps ahead. And we're realizing that, like, which I think we are most of the time. But there's been a couple weeks where we are just like a little, scheduling, because we still have full other businesses that we're both running. So the scheduling and stuff. But yeah, it's a ton of work, but it's very fun. It's very fun work, and it doesn't feel like work. So I don't mind coming home from showings or doing stuff, because it doesn't really feel like work.
I think the social media aspect of it is fun too, because it's completely different content than what I'm used to posting. So trying to actually, download the video that we just recorded and then find a clip that's engaging, and then coming up with a caption, and then coming up with the text for that caption and making it into an IGTV, and then sharing that IGTV to my page and Matt's page and figuring out how to get the most swipe ups possible. Like, I really like that strategy aspect of the social media, because that's what I do. And I've always been trying, whenever I'm promoting something, and now it's actually promoting something that's, just further real estate content. So I think it's really fun to do, but yeah, it's extremely time consuming. And we also don't want to like have a bunch of huge guests at the beginning before we have an audience, because if we go Ryan Serhant, Maya Vander, Mauricio, but only 10 people are watching, it's like, okay, then we got to have them back on again. So we're trying to spread out. We got to have like filler guests, and we won't tell you who those people are. It's usually just Matt and I, actually. We
filler episodes. Another one of those are coming together. Yeah.
Let's talk about the merch drop. How's that going?
Yes. Actually very successful.
Yeah.
First couple of days in terms of sales, not in terms of our margins, but we're still trying to figure that part out. But
we're losing money on these. I guess these weigh like 90 pounds.
Yeah, people, if you're trying to support us, please don't buy the mugs.
Don't buy the mugs.
But it's good. There's been great variety. Like every design has done well. So we're happy about that. We were kind of trying to figure out what's too much, what's not enough in terms of design, because you don't want to, have an entire Gap store on there where there's just too much to choose from and they leave. So like, I think we started with the right amount of variety, and it's been going well.
Yeah. We have like a Broke Agent key logo, Broke Agent logo, Matt's signature saying "You take care," which is actually selling. Yeah. I didn't think that was going to sell. And I don't know, we've sold 10, 15 shirts that say that.
I think it's the font.
It's cool.
It's got that, that retro font.
Yeah. Nothing cool. to do with me or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then the showing,
font. Yeah.
The showing confirmed one that I'm wearing, those are doing well. And then of course the over ass merch. But yeah, like Matt said, we want to do like a slow rollout. And then on Wednesdays we sell houses. Yeah. That one's, we've sold like 30 of those already.
Yeah.
And where can the people find the merch store? Where do you want them to go for that?
TheBrokeAgentStore.com.
Okay. The Broke Agent Store. We'll make sure we put that in the show notes, etc., so people can go through and click there. Okay. We're going to wrap this up. We got 2 final questions for you guys. The first one, I'm going to throw to Matt. If you could have dinner with any 3 people in history, past or present, who would they be and why?
Whew. Okay.
People.
Freddie Mercury, Kendall Jenner, and and
dude, you love Kendall Jenner, man.
Yeah,
I mean, you must mention her every episode.
I love Kendall Jenner. So does my wife. We're big fans of the Kardashian clan. We think they're fantastic people. Yeah, we love them. Okay, Freddie Mercury, Kendall Jenner, and Steve McQueen.
That'd be an interesting dinner table.
Right? And then me in my "You Take Care Now" shirt.
Nice. Eric, same question. 3 people for dinner.
Gary V, which is cliche, but I think that if I sat down with him for an hour, he would help further monetize the brand and give me a lot of good tips on how to keep this thing going.
True.
So that's from a business strategy perspective. John Daly, golfer, because he's a legend. He likes to party, crushes the ball. I think he'd be fun to have drinks with, tell some crazy golf stories. And then probably Derek Jeter, just because he's my favorite athlete of all time. That's kind of like the more, stoic, less off the wall type of athlete. So, I mean, no one in real estate. I don't know who.
Yeah. Also Conor McGregor. How can I forget Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
That's 4. Yeah.
Can I change out Derek Jeter?
Yep.
Because it might be a little boring. Like, I love Derek Jeter, but I don't know if that dinner would be fun. But
I would love to have dinner with Derek Jeter.
Well, of course I would too.
I'm
You're just saying
changing
3 people.
I'm changing Kendall for Conor McGregor. Yeah.
Okay.
Although I love Kendall. Yeah.
Okay. Who are you changing for Derek Jeter?
It would be somebody in crypto that could give me insights on what's going to happen the next 2 weeks. Not like an Anthony Pompliano guy that's just constantly pumping it, but some like insider whale that is just like, this is what's going to happen in 2 weeks.
We've got a bonus. We call it Shut It Down. Eric has played this before. Matt, it's your first time. I give you 2 options. You shut one down, essentially picking the other one. So it could be food, could be fashion, could be music. Either way, it will keep you on your toes. So for example, if I said pizza or calzone, you would pick?
Pizza.
So you're shutting down pizza. That means you pick calzone.
Oh, wait, no. Calzone.
Shutting down calzone, right? So that's how it works.
Okay.
Got to
Make
think
sense?
about this a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start easy.
Okay.
Eric, we'll start
Yeah.
with Eric.
Okay.
Clubhouse or Instagram?
Clubhouse. So I'm shutting down Clubhouse.
Right, so you picked IG.
Just
Matt?
confirming.
Shut down Clubhouse.
Okay. Ham or prosciutto?
I would shut down both. I don't eat either. But prosciutto when I used to eat
ham.
red meat.
Yeah. The only correct answer is Eric's answer, which is shutting down ham.
Yeah.
Pick prosciutto.
Okay.
Prosciutto's
It's amazing.
incredible.
It is good, but I don't
I have a
eat
dog.
red.
I have a dog named Prosciutto.
Is that true?
No.
But it would be a good dog name.
Yeah, it would be a good dog. Okay, here's one.
Prosciutto.
Adidas or Nike?
Ooh.
Nike.
Picking Adidas.
Mm-hmm.
Matt,
Adidas.
picking Nike. Interesting. Okay.
Be nice to
MJ?
shut down LeBron permanently, get rid of all of his sponsors.
Well, there we go. That my next question, surprisingly, Eric, was MJ or LeBron.
LeBron.
That is such a hard question for me.
Not hard at all, Matt. This is not a hard shut it down question.
I love LeBron, but after watching The Last Dance, I have a whole new respect. So I'd have to shut down LeBron.
Good for you guys. That's the only correct answer. You have to shut down LeBron. Okay, here's one. $1 million listing Los Angeles or $1 million listing New York?
Los Angeles. Shut that one down.
I'm going to shut down
Keep
New
our-
York. My boys are all in Los Angeles.
Who are your boys?
Mauricio, James, and David are all on Los Angeles.
I thought our boys were Ryan Serhant.
I love Ryan Serhant too, but I love
Yeah.
New York got me into it, but I prefer seeing the properties in LA. I think there's more diversity.
I agree with that. I actually prefer seeing the LA properties too. So I changed my answer.
But I love Ryan
Good
and
argument.
Frederick and all them. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say the next one was Serhant or Altman.
Serhant.
Shut down Altman.
Shut down Altman. Yeah. Shut down Altman.
Yeah.
Pick Serhant.
Uh,
Eric knows Altman,
Yeah, I like that.
but he likes him. Yeah.
Yeah.
James Harris or Josh Flagg?
Shut down Josh Flagg.
Shut down Josh Flagg because James Harris is probably going to be a podcast guest soon. So
Well,
just
Josh Flagg.
out of pure strategy.
Yeah, smart.
Thank you.
Run DMC or NWA?
Shut down NWA.
Shut
because
down. Oh.
Run DMC, the SSX Tricky soundtrack. It's tricky. Remember that snowboard game?
It's tricky. I used to play that all the time. Yeah,
that
but
game was sick. And that
I'd shut
trailer
down.
song.
shut down Run DMC though.
Okay.
It is sick though.
Dog or cat?
Oh, shut down Cat
Shut
all
him
day
down.
long.
Yeah, that's the only correct answer as well.
Yeah.
You can't have a cat named Prosciutto. I guess you can.
Netflix or YouTube?
Shut down Netflix. Get all my podcasts, all my news. We're not posting the Overask podcast on Netflix. So out of business and distribution and politics and news, YouTube.
Shut down YouTube.
Whoa. Why? So you could watch 50 Shades of Grey or whatever that new show is?
Exactly. That's what I want to watch.
Right.
That's what I want to watch.
Okay. Gin or vodka?
I don't drink. Shut down both.
Shut down gin.
Okay. Vodka all day. And then shaken or stirred?
Shut down stirred.
Shut down stirred.
No, that's incorrect. Shaken oxidizes the alcohol. So you got to shut down shaken.
Okay.
Okay.
Pabst Blue Ribbon or Bud?
Shut down Pabst Blue Ribbon.
I don't drink, but when I did, shut down Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
You seem like a PBR
vomit
guy.
Inducing.
Yeah, Matt looks like because PBR is like the the hipster 10-speed kind of beer.
He's saying I look cool and you don't.
No,
that's not what I'm saying at all.
No, the exact opposite actually.
No, it's
you're like
not.
You're like an IPA guy. You just drink an IPA at some speakeasy, thinking you look cool wearing like a fedora.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Jason Mraz. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
And here's the last one.
Is that the guy that sings "I'm Yours"?
Yeah.
Last one here. Work hard or play hard?
Shut down, I guess now at this point, play hard.
Shut down play hard right now. We'll play hard in a couple of years.
Yeah, but we want to work hard to play hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, no, I would shut down work hard because for the rest of my life, if I had to do just one or the other.
If we had already put the work in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then I would shut down work hard.
Shut down work hard and play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm not trying to be 95 years old working hard.
I ain't selling real estate when I'm 60.
I'm not selling real estate when I'm 32.
No, he's out.
1 year. Yeah. See ya.
He's retired.
Yeah.
Amazing, guys. There you go. That was Shut It Down. That was the bonus round.
Great.
Thank you very much, guys, for joining us today. You gave us a real workshop on gravitational branding, how to become one of the most recognizable agents in your marketplace with spending very little or without spending a dime. If you're not following these guys, you need to hit them on their IG and hit subscribe on that podcast. I assume you're on all platforms. Is that true?
Confirmed.
Yes.
Yeah, the Overask podcast. Great stuff. Always a pleasure, guys. Where else do you want the people to find you?
Instagram. Find us on Instagram and we'll take it from there.
At The Broke Agent, at Bad Real Estate Picks, at Overask Podcast, thebrokeagent.com, thebrokeagentstore.com, thebrokeagentbook.com.
But they can find all that from
Instagram.
What we're saying. Yeah.
Twitter at The Broke Agent, TikTok at The Broke Agent.
Okay. Go to
Dr.
Instagram.
16 is my personal.
Go to Instagram and click the link tree. Find everything.
We'll put everything in there. We'll put it all in the show notes and on the page there. We get a lot of traffic on
Put in the show notes.
Anyways. All right, guys.
All right. Bye.
Thanks so much, man.
See you guys.
See you guys.